So I just finished watching The Boys Season 5 finale, and holy crap was that the biggest waste of time in my life. I thought the Stranger Things finale was terrible, and it was. But this was slightly worse. Somehow. Oh, brother in Christ, I don't even know where to begin. Alright, I'm just gonna start. I'm going to assume that you've been caught up with the show thus far, so we're just going right in. Spoilers from here on out. Okay, so the basic setup for this episode is pretty fine. The boys are on a strict time limit. They have to stop Homelander from delivering his speech that he's a god, and he's going to do his speech that he's a god on Easter Sunday from the White House. So we have a pretty cool setup. They have a strict time limit. They have to stop him before he can enact his plan, and he's in the most heavily defended building in the country. Cool idea, pretty awesome setup. Kimiko has her powers now, which apparently if you just give superheroes radiation, they can shoot it out of their bodies. I guess that's a thing in this universe, whatever. Sister Sage loses her powers after she pisses off Kimiko, which is how we find out that Kimiko can use this ability. And she goes to Orlando to go to Harry Potter World, and we never see her again. Hallelujah. So then the episode begins, and the boys just somehow manage to teleport to the fucking White House. Like, they just teleport there. I don't know where they're supposed to be, like, their little base of operations, but they just somehow teleport to the White House. Now, to be fair, they do reference when they were playing security guards for the president in Season 4, and they used the same tunnel system that was in Season 4. So, I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense that they would know how to get to the White House this way, but, like, they just teleport there. This happens throughout the entire show. Like, they just teleport to their location, and there's no, like, passage of time, which is very annoying, but this was especially annoying. Oh, there's also, like, this subplot where O-Father gets a ball gag, and this is very important. Remember that O-Father gets a ball gag. Okay, so let's flash back just a second. Before the boys end up going to the White House, Homelander is there, and he's preparing for his little speech about how he's a god, and he's all excited and everything, because he gets to be a god now. And O-Father's like, hey, Homelander, can we wait so that I can, like, get more people to believe in you? And Homelander's like, nah, we're not doing that. And there's also this Elon Musk-like guy there, who's in this episode for, like, 1 second, and he dies. I guess because the show doesn't like Elon. I mean, I don't like Elon either, but, like, there was no reason for this character to exist. Then Homelander belittles the Deep, and it's actually kind of funny. He says that he doesn't respect him, and he's only keeping him alive so that the Deep knows how useless he is. And that was, like, the only good part of this episode. And that's about it. Nothing else happens then. So the boys are in the secret White House tunnels, and Homelander is starting his little talk about how he's a god and everything. And then the boys trigger a motion detector because they just didn't see it, even though it was right out in the open. And then the Secret Service tell Ashley that there are intruders, and their security measures are just a couple of Secret Service guys with rifles. They don't kill anyone. They just keep shooting at Starlight, who's invincible, and Butcher, who is also invincible, and Kimiko, who's also invincible. Starlight is protecting Huey. I don't know where MM is. And, yeah, the bullets don't do anything, and it looked really goofy, but it's also, like, the only time they used guns in this season. So that's cool, I guess. Then Ashley, who's afraid of Homelander, decides to go save the boys. So she does that, and, like, there's no consequence. She just leaves her security detail who are trying to escort her to the safety bunker that the White House has. And she just frees the boys from their little predicament. And, like, nothing happens. She doesn't have any agents following her. Nobody sees her do it. Homelander doesn't care for some reason. It feels like a video game. Like a really bad video game. Anyway, then the boys get cornered by O-Father. Huey tricks O-Father into thinking he's Butcher after he shoots something that makes smoke show up in the room. I'm not really sure why there's just a giant smoke grenade on the ceiling, but there was a giant smoke grenade on the ceiling. So O-Father follows Huey and MM into this other room, which is where his ball gag is. And since O-Father is immune to bullets, he thinks he has him cornered. But then MM just shoves the ball gag on his mouth as he's doing his, scream power, and his head just explodes. So apparently, the ball gag that O-Father got will kill him if he used it. I still don't understand why him using his powers with the ball gag over his mouth caused his head to explode. So then Butcher and Kimiko enter the Oval Office where Homelander is giving his speech, and he goes off on a tirade about how he's going to kill everyone and everything on the Earth, and he's just going to live in the ashes, which seems weird to admit on TV, but whatever. And then a little fight ensues between Butcher, Kimiko, and Homelander, and it's very underwhelming because they all can't die. Kimiko takes forever to use her powers, and every time she tries to, Homelander prioritizes her until he starts to get bored and tries to leave. And then out of nowhere, Ryan shows up and stops him from leaving. So there was this tiny little plot point that I forgot about at the very beginning of the episode where Homelander finds Ryan in Russia and says, "Son, come home, come live with me." And Ryan's like, "Fuck you, Dad." And Homelander's like, "Oh, okay." And then just kind of leaves. So yeah, that's why Ryan's here, because I guess he was watching Homelander on TV or something. I'm not sure how his TV was getting the signal from the American broadcast while he's living in a village in Russia, but whatever, I guess. So Ryan, Butcher, and Kimiko are all fighting Homelander, and then Kimiko sees a hallucination of Frenchie, and he speaks in his stupid French accent, and she uses her power and depowers Homelander. And I looked at the time and found out that Homelander gets depowered in only the first 30 minutes of this hour-long finale. So Homelander doesn't have his powers anymore, and he's bleeding now, and Butcher starts bashing his face in. And Homelander is like, "Please, please don't kill me. Please, I'll suck your dick on TV. I'll eat your shit on TV. Please don't kill me." And I just don't feel anything. This is your villain that you've been building up since the first season, since the first episode of the first season. And he didn't do anything in Season 5. He has not done a single thing in Season 5 except stand around and be angry. He hasn't done anything remotely evil in Season 5. It's all just been a bunch of lackeys that have done it. Seeing him whimper and beg for his life when he lost his powers isn't satisfying because he hasn't used his powers at all this season. I'm not saying he should have gone full scorched earth like everyone else wanted him to do and see him wipe out entire civilizations, but he needed to at least do something. But anyway, he's begging for his life, and then Butcher just shoves a crowbar into his head and busts his brains out. Which probably would have been cool if, again, this wasn't 30 minutes in the episode. So, yeah, you'd think the episode would be over by now, but no, actually, because fuck you. So the boys go back to their little safe house on this farm or whatever the fuck, and they're having a little party because they killed Homelander, and there's no repercussions at all. I don't know how they left the White House. I don't know why there wasn't any security trying to hunt them down. They just leave. Ashley ends up getting arrested too. I'm not really sure why, but she did. Anyway, while they're having their little party, Butcher tries to say, "Hey Ryan, can we be like a family or something?" And Ryan's like, "Lol, no, fuck you. You're an evil person too." And Butcher's like, "Oh, okay." So then Butcher goes to his bedroom, and his dog Terror is dead, and it's actually kind of sad. But to be fair, I am just kind of soft on animals. I have a pet. I'd be sad if it died. So Terror is dead, and then Butcher walks back out, and they're all watching TV. And on TV, Stan Edgar says he's going to be the CEO of Vought again. Because that's how it works. This is the only time Stan Edgar appears in this episode, so I'm 99% convinced they recorded that part in the other episode that he was in. Because I don't know why he's only here for this one part. Anyway, Butcher sees that Stan Edgar is going to be the CEO again, so he gets an idea, and he gets the superhero killing virus, and he goes to Vought Tower. Again, he just kind of teleports there. I'm not sure how, but he just kind of does. And for some reason, Vought Tower has one security guard with a gun that's guarding the entire building. And Butcher, obviously, kills him. But Huey was following Butcher this entire time, and he realizes what Butcher is going to do. So he also goes to Vought Tower, and didn't bother to tell Annie, or MM, or anyone else what he was doing. And again, Huey just kind of teleports to the tower. Inside the tower, there is literally nobody, because apparently it was night, and there's no one in Vought Tower at night, which doesn't make sense because I thought that's where the superheroes lived. So Butcher is now the twist evil villain of the season. I know this was in the comics, but it's not really well done here, at all. I mean, nothing in this season was well done, but it's done even worse here than anywhere else. So he tells Huey that he put the superhero killing virus in the sprinkler system, and he's going to detonate a bomb that'll start a fire and kill all the superheroes when they come in for the morning shift. And Huey's like, don't do that. You don't have to do that, Butcher. You're a good guy. You don't have to do that. And Butcher's like, no, I'm going to do it anyway. And Huey's like, then I'm going to shoot you. And Butcher's like, okay, then shoot me, bitch. So then they have a little slap fight, and then Huey shoots Butcher, and Butcher's bleeding out, and Huey's like, I'm so sorry, I didn't actually mean to do that. And Butcher's like, nah, it's okay. I'm kind of the piece of shit, so it's fine. I don't mind dying. And Huey's like, okay, that's cool. I'm sorry. And Butcher's like, you're a good guy, Huey. Don't ever change. And Huey's like, I won't. And Butcher's like, alright, cool. And then he just dies. So then Huey just somehow teleports Butcher to the graveyard, and they have a funeral for him. I don't know how much time has passed, but yeah. There's no indication that they evacuated Vought Tower to get rid of the virus from the water system. He just left, so I guess the virus is just still in the water system at Vought Tower, and it'll go off if there's ever a fire? Okay. So after the funeral, we get this tiny little montage, and it's very sad and pathetic. Mother's Milk marries some girl. I thought he was already married, but I guess not. But he marries Monique, and Ryan's his best man. I don't know why Ryan's his best man. I don't think he's ever said a single word to Ryan in all 3 seasons he's been in. Kimiko's off living a lavish lifestyle somewhere, and Huey and Annie own a tech store where Annie gets to fight crime while being pregnant. That's cool, I guess. And yeah, that's basically just how the show ends. Huey opens his little tech store. He and Annie fight crime together. And, yeah. Vought still exists. Superheroes are still out there. I'm assuming those camps are still out there, too. All the evil superheroes are still alive, except for Homelander. Oh, I completely forgot. There was a subplot while they were in the White House where Annie fights the Deep, and the Deep dies in the ocean by getting mauled to death by all the animals he's pissed off. I completely forgot that happened. That's how inconsequential everything is. The Deep dies, and I forgot it happened until I was recording this segment. But, yeah, so the season ends in the most amateur way possible. You'd think that there would be another fucking season after this. But no, this is it. It's over. It ends with more questions than answers, which is not a good way to end your final. It's fine to have an open ending for your season finale, but not like this. They left so many more questions open. Character arcs are still unfinished. Vought is still around for whatever reason. Bob Singer comes back. I thought he was dead or something, but he just decides to come back, and somehow he's the president. I don't think the show understands how the presidency works, but He just comes back and he's president? I thought he got arrested while he was president. How does he come back and become president again? But, that's it. Like, I don't know what else to say. Like, the setup for the episode was cool. The boys have a limited time to stop Homelander before he becomes God, I guess. But they wrap that up in like 30 minutes. Actually, less than 30 minutes. They spend like the first 10 minutes doing Frenchie's funeral, and then they just break into the White House and kill Homelander in 20 minutes. Basically, this finale was just a giant fuck you to anyone who cared. You care about any character? Fuck you. You care about world building? Fuck you. You cared about the plot? Fuck you. It's the exact same middle finger the Stranger Things writers gave you. Fuck you. This is how the show is going to forever be remembered. As this cool superhero show that missed the mark on its final. Unlike Stranger Things, which was just bad because it shouldn't have had more than one season, this show was bad because they decided to sacrifice good writing to make shitty political commentary. I'm not against the show having this commentary, but when the commentary itself is so terribly written into the script, it makes the rest of the show suffer because of it. But, that was the Season 5 finale. My video was just as terrible as it. So, if you haven't seen the finale yet, don't watch it. It's just a waste of time.